I'm Spica Wobbe, and I'm a puppetry artist.
Hi friends, my name's Karen Oughtred and I'm a theatre maker. And we're teaching artists at Flushing Town Hall, where we believe in global arts for global kids. And we're excited to welcome you back to our second series where we'll explore toy theatre together.
In our last video, we wrote a poem and made a storyboard for the toy theatre. Today, we're going to make puppets for it.
For this, you will need
You can always draw yourself and make a puppet out of it. But today, we're going to show you a fun way to do it. First, you're going to find a photo of yourself that you like. It doesn't have to be a full body. Sometimes it can be just your head, as long as they can fit inside the theater. And sometimes if you have the program in your computer, you can flip the image and make the different sizes of the image. That can be fun. But if you don't, that's totally fine. Just print out the image. So first things, we're going to cut the image out roughly. You don't have to cut the detail, just roughly along the image. And as you can see, the regular copy paper, they are pretty thin. So it's really hard to hold it and then keep it as it is. So we're going to make it stronger by putting a layer of cardstock in the back. So you can use the cereal box, or sometimes we get this kind of junk mail postcard. They're pretty strong. So we're going to add it to the back of your image to make it stronger. So you can just use the glue stick. There you go. And then we're going to cut it. Now this time you can cut along the edge of the image. But I like to leave a little bit white on the edge. Sometimes on a different background. In this case, with some white around the image, can make the image stand out more. Now, I have a puppet of myself that is strong for me to hold it with just my hand, like that. Dun, 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 dun.
not only people or animal characters can be puppets. Sometimes words or objects can also be puppets, as long as we can use sound and movement to bring them to life.
In my poem, I need a clock, which is something round. You can always draw something round yourself. However, we can find many things in our life that's already a circle, and we can just simply trace it. But now the question is, how big of the circle I want. So I can bring out my toy theater. See, I'm inside already. And then we can put the circle in, see which one you like. So this one is already bigger than life, if this is me and this is a big clock, right? But in order to emphasize the time, I can choose one that is even bigger, make it out of proportion. That is more fun, isn't it? So let's use this one. So we simply trace it. I'm going to use Sharpie instead of pencil so you can see it. There you go. I have a circle for my clock. And then I can number it. So if this is the center, so I can go. So next thing, I'm going to put the needles in. It will be fun if we can see the needle move during the performance. Make it more interesting, make it like a puppet that can move. So in order to do so, I have to separate the needle from this clock. So let's measure, this is the longest. So now we have our clock. Again, because this is very thin, so find a piece of cardstock so we can glue behind it. So you're going to punch a hole. Now you have a hole right here. And hole right. And then the center, you realize your hole punch cannot go through. You can just use your scissors. Gently poke and twist it a little bit. Now you got a hole here. So take your breast fastener and go through these two needles. And then go through this hole and open up the legs in the back. Voila! See? Now you have a clock that can move. Isn't that cool? It's fun to make things bigger or smaller. That's a fun part of making puppets. So, for example, I can make myself as big as this, and then it's totally fine that you don't see the rest of my body because that's in audience imagination. So now we want to even zoom in more. I need a pair of hands, something like this. I can use my own hand, but I can also draw them. So I draw one hand, and then I trace it, and I make another one. I flip over, so I make another one. And this time, I put the outline with Sharpie because the hand itself is such a simple shape. So in order to make it more clear, so I use the Sharpie to outline it. And don't forget, like all the other puppets we make, we want to make it stronger enough to hold. So I added cardstock in the back, so you can hold them nicely without any problem. Now the puppets are made, we have to think about how to bring the puppets on and off the stage. You have 3 different ways of doing it. One, you can go from this side or from this side, and sometimes you can even go down from the top. So with a puppet like this, I can just hold it with my hand, go in and out. However, with a puppet like this, when it's smaller, if I bring it with my hand, what happens? First, my hand is blocking the puppet. Second, the audience will see a lot of my hand, which we should change. We can change with adding a control rod. So you can find anything like this, like sticks. You can have a straw, a chopstick, a coffee stirrer, and then we can use it as a control. So we decided the puppet's going this way since she's facing that way. So I'm going to put the control on this side. So I'm going to put it on the back. So I'm going to flip it over and put it right here and just put a piece of tape. There you go. And I can enter from this side without showing any of my hand. This is the clock with the joint we made earlier. Now I can just put a double-sized tape in the back, and then I can connect to another rod. Now I can move the needle. Isn't that cool? The other way to move the joint is use a piece of string. So you can tie the string on top of the control rod. And use a piece of tape to secure it. Make sure it doesn't move around. See? And then you're going to move this part to the lowest point and then connect the string with that part. So I'm going to flip it over, put it back. Now I can move the arm without showing my hand. This is another sample, which we have 2 strings to move the wings. During the show, you can also use some thinking bubbles to emphasize some important words. You probably have seen them in comics before. The words inside usually represent somebody's thought, dialogue, or sound effect. You can play with different shapes according to what you're trying to say. Thank you for joining us today. Be creative and have fun making your puppets in different ways.
Check out our activity sheet for more fun with toy theatre. And we'll see you again tomorrow when we'll show you how to make scenery for your toy theatre. 再见!